Welcome to the Foul Out Podcast. Today we got Shaq on the cam, Trill Will, my brother Arkeem, and Cam, aka Woodstock Socrates. And we just gonna get into one of the hottest stories just going on the net right now. I want to talk about Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony, not the basketball players. Situation going on. Akeem, I know you said you had something to say. What you got, man?
He'll still be alive right now if his parents ain't gas him up. Get caught with a knife and you out the same night as you fed or what? That boy ain't out. He ain't fed. Let me just be real, man. And I'm speaking, this is Arkeem Gibson speaking. I'm not speaking for nobody else on this panel. So them two white boys, Austin Metcalf and him and his brother, and he died in his arms. One of you stabbed my brother, we retaliating immediately. I can hold him in my arms at any time if he gone. I'm coming back to get you. So these two guys, this is what the reports say. They was bigger than him. It was two of them. But one of them had those two had outdated thinking. See, that's very caveman-like to think I can push somebody around because I'm bigger than them. That's how everybody get killed. Everybody with that outdated caveman thinking, I'm bigger than him. I can tell him what to do and end up flat. That's just what happened, man. So I because the original story said that they just told him you're in the wrong seat, and he got up and stabbed him. I knew that didn't sound right. Yeah, y'all probably fought him. Y'all probably jumped him, and y'all probably whooped him. It's two of y'all bigger than him. But see, you can't tell nobody how to react. Bullying don't work. Bullying stopped working when people with heart learn how to use weapons. That's just the world we live in, and it's been like that a long time. It's a lot of big old boys laying in the grave right now because they thought their size meant something in combat. When that Chinese man invented that gun, all that went out the window. But Willie, I really got to hear what you got to say.
Why are you putting the onus on me? Uh, so I saw the story. First of all, the story is so unfortunate because the kid that's about to stand trial, from looking at what everybody been posting about him, his life was going to be much bigger than this moment on that track and field. And now it's not, right. It's going to be about everything that happens on that track and field. And I wish, this is gonna sound even worse. I wish it wasn't him. I wish it would have been Lil Tommy or another crash out that did something like this. But from what I've been seeing, this right here in Frisco, Texas, I don't know how far it is from you guys, but it's
It's
definitely it's in
Dallas, basically.
basically, to see a kid who seemed to have so much potential, even if he was in the right, which is pains me because typically I'm like, yeah, that guy. And maybe that kid had it coming. I just hate it was him because I don't want to make it sound so racially, but he was one of the best. If you just look at his resume, right? He was a kid who you
Yeah.
wouldn't expect to be in that situation based on what I saw on Facebook. This is all Facebook. This so that just don't hold a candle a little bit to this. And like Akeem said, like, granted, they're gonna get him on something, right? Obviously, this is how this gonna go. He gonna serve sometime, whether it's for bringing a weapon at the school grounds or hopefully not for murder, because that would just really end it, his whole entire career. But I just hate it had to be him.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what he said when they got him, right? They said they're saying you're being charged with allegedly stabbing Austin Metcalf. He said, I ain't no allegedly. I did it. That's what he
He
said.
did.
I ain't no allegedly. I did it. But then he asked, is he gonna make it?
Is
So
he gonna be okay?
he didn't intentionally tend to kill him. And no, my answer is not racially driven, even though some people will take it that way. I mean, What was that little boy's name that shot those people? He was like a Trump supporter, and he shot those people in
Kyle
Wisconsin.
Rittenhouse.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Mhm.
Um, I was on his side. You know, I really understood what he was doing. Like those people were trying to beat him up and stuff like that and running up on him and he blasted them. I ain't gonna say I was on his side. I'm not gonna say that. But when I saw the video, outside of what everybody just was telling me that he shot people, those people were attacking him. And if you don't run up on nobody with a gun, but that's what they're doing this. But I highly doubt that this guy gets that kind of grace. He won't get this kind of grace.
That's the
And now
sad
that
part.
would be
Yeah.
that would be racially driven. That would be the racially driven part. If Kyle
Yeah.
Rittenhouse was black, he would have did some time. If people trying to attack him or nothing. The thing about young black, the thing about young black boys is that they never innocent enough. That's what history has told us. You could have everything set up and people were just set up to come get him, but they never innocent enough. So Kyle Rittenhouse, I don't think that he was supposed to go to jail. I'm gonna just say that, and I don't think that this guy here is supposed to go to jail.
Yeah.
Because
So
I mean, he
speaking on the law, I want to read some of the stand your ground laws here. Texas law removes the requirement for individuals to retreat before using force in self-defense, as long as they are not involved in criminal activity and they are in a place that they have a right to be. Reasonable belief of threat. To justify the use of force, including deadly force, an individual must have a reasonable belief that such force is immediately necessary. Now, the part that I think they might drill him on is this proportionality aspect. The force used in self defense must be proportional to the threat faced, meaning it should not be excessive. So that's what law is all about. Law is all about interpretation. You know, if this guy can prove no, like they literally, I know them from back in the day. They was on some other stuff or whatever, you know, or they try to jump me. I fear for my life. If he can, stand on that, he might be okay. But that I think that's what they're gonna try to drill him on is the proportional force.
that's the thing about law, though. Go ahead, Cam.
All I'm gonna say, man, parents, teach your kids better conflict resolution skills. Cause it shouldn't, unless he was really out there getting jumped or something like that. You ain't got to stab the man. But at the same time, I'm not gonna act like I don't know nobody who would have did the same thing.
But
Hey, just
Cam,
My
who are you to tell him how to react?
movies, you know, somebody really stepped to them, and if you caught them on the wrong day, they wouldn't have wet you up real quick.
Cam,
my
who are you
biggest
to tell
thing.
him how to react, though, Cam? Like, the
Dog,
first thing is,
he was at a track meet.
yeah.
Dog, he was at a track meet. Used to have somebody.
It has went down
But let
and
me say this.
stranger
Speaking of
places.
speaking of a track meet, I don't know if y'all play high school sports. But bro, just imagine the kid, because I ran track. Imagine the kid that is, under another school's tent. And then this kid is trying to police him and say, hey, you ain't supposed to be over here. And this kid not even on the track team. He just trying to police this random kid that runs track that happen to be under another tent. It's like
Those are the children of
that
Karens.
that's either a Karen in the form of a teenage boy, or that's a boy that's trying to start something.
Yeah. All I'm saying
I
is
mean,
whatever happened to your fists, man? Oh,
that's outdated. That's
I,
outdated.
yeah, in the streets, not at the track meet.
It was too
Not
big for
at the
him.
high school sporting event.
The streets is everywhere. Hey, what 21 Savage say? You ain't heard my music? Why you balling up your fist?
Hey, dog, I get it, man. I hear you, man. All I'm saying, man, like, dog, I
It's
know we
just
get up in arms about this and everything, dog. But like, bro, at the track, I can see at a party.
to
That's
to
reasonable. At the track meet,
to Cam's point. I do see Cam's point. Like at a track meet, because I ran track too, but at a track meet, bro, where it's like teachers security everywhere. Like, and that's the fun part of it was that it attracted me. You could see people from Clinton, Madison, y'all all hang out, talk. It's just crazy that it went left
You at the
that far.
invitational, man.
Yeah, like I see, like that's like at a basketball game. Like imagine at a basketball game, you see some boys get to arguing in the crowd. Then next thing you know, like that's crazy that that's the times we live in. Because I remember being at basketball game where dudes got jumped, and it was like, oh, they fighting. It wasn't ever like, oh, they stabbing, they stabbing up there. It's like what stabbing?
No,
Huh?
those was the old days when we was fighting and stuff.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
That
I remember tell.
25, we getting killed.
I remember telling Arkeem and them, like, I remember when folks used to just squabble. Like, you be, like, my dad used to tell me he'd be on the way to school, and you just see them boys in the alley getting busy. And they'll put their bags down, they'll get to it, finish, pick their bags up, go about their business. Bruh, it has changed. Now it's crazy that people could do that, go to work, and be like, man, I had a little scuffle this morning. No problems.
Well, see, you know what y'all sound like? Y'all sound like some guys saying, "How come it ain't an elevator attendant anymore?" Look, man, them days. The thing about what he say? He said the thing about the old days, OG, is
They the
them
old
the
days.
old days.
Dog, they was saying this back in the 90s, man. Them kids just get worse and worse. Dude, I get it, man. It's
Don't talk, don't fight.
come on, man. Come at the track meet, man. Them joints used to
I
be
just hate
All
that
right.
he couldn't, because he was a senior, wasn't it? The guy that Carmelo Anthony, he's a senior, right?
I think both of them are.
I just hate that he couldn't stop and think in the heat of the moment, right? Like, bro, I'm finna never see this dude ever again in my life, like, and
Wait,
now
wait. This is what I wanted to ask you before you went.
what?
When you said you remember folks fighting at basketball games and stuff like that, let's say this kid was getting jumped. If he had a piece on him, do you think he would have used it?
Oh, if I'm
This
getting
kid getting jumped.
bleed.
Yeah, a kid getting jumped, probably so, man, probably so.
Out of
Cause,
fear. Yeah, I can.
cause they're a kid, and that's the thing, it's like at a point I'm like, okay, I get the reaction. I don't get why a kid would have a piece at a basketball game. I don't get why a kid would have a knife in his book bag and then pull it on somebody. Cause like once you do that stuff, bro, like we sitting here talking about it now. But if homie get 40 years, we'll never hear from him again. We'll never mention him on this podcast. We'll
Dog,
never mention him in life. He'll just be cannon fodder. And you'll be sitting like, dang, bro, that boy Carmelo Anthony, who was number 3 in the class or number 5 in the class, it's crazy.
Yeah.
We'll be talking
Yeah,
about him like
and
we talk about Jalen.
dog,
yeah,
Right?
it's over now, to be honest with
and
you.
that's why I don't want to spend too much time on it because all the facts ain't came out. I
Same.
just wanted to have like a preliminary discussion on it.
That's why I said Facebook talk. The only thing I've seen is the Facebook knowledge. I have not
Yeah.
seen it, but it's gonna come out soon. This is gonna be a hot bud.
But that's
topic.
what I'm speaking on, though. Facebook knowledge. Now, I don't need the facts to give this. Look, man, if you start a fight, you got to be ready to die or you got to be ready to kill. That's just, hey, look, Cam, you jumping back because this is news to you. But
Dog, I understand what you're saying. All I'm saying is, right now, the way things got going, Buddy he about to end up in El Salvador.
you think they going to deport him?
Hey, not immediately.
Hey, side note. Why is his family raising like $300,000-$400,000? A funeral is like $10,000
$10,000
max.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they raising money? I know what Carmelo is raising money for. I don't know what they raising money for.
Only thing I could think of is maybe legal costs, but then again, that's what came to my mind. Secondly, after I thought about it, maybe legal costs. Maybe they're trying to get some high profile lawyer to come in and take the case or something. But hey, I don't know, dude.
But Buddy, his brother, sorry, as a brother who almost got a twin brother, you sorry as all I know. Boy, if you let me chill out. Hey, look, I'll put it this way. 2 dead. Believe that.
You got to
Okay,
remember
man.
too, Arkeem, like they like 17, 18 years old. He just saw his brother go down. He might have just been thinking about, bro, let me get my brother some help. not even at that point to even process that that's what happened. You know, that trauma response. His was the let me go to my brother and just
Too
hold on for
dead.
dear life.
Too dead.
But yeah, let's move on to this, man. Uh, the boy Trump, man, put a
Let's
90
go.
day pause on tariffs on.
Cam?
Man, we gotta sit here and watch this challenge, this man. Hey, I know this. All as soon as he came in and repealed the tariffs, man. All the Trump truthers was like, "Oh man, you know, Daddy Trump doing the 4D chess. Oh, Trump's making deals. He's doing the market. He's doing it big. Come on, man. This dude don't. He think he know what he's doing on some 1980s playbook, dog. This is terrible for America. Long term, we just mad unreliable, man. Like we going into deadbeat dad kind of reputation level at this point, man. America destroying his long term reputation, and even if he's out of there in 4 years, man, we not gonna be able to build that back. It's over for that. We gonna be looking bad for a long, long time. And you know who gonna pay for that? Us in our prime earning years, and your kids and your grandkids gonna probably read in a textbook about how great America used to be.
So, how bad would it be if America fell from number one to like number five? Would it be that bad?
Look at Europe.
What happened? It's beautiful over there. I love Europe.
Yeah, it's a good place to spend money, but not the best place to make money.
It's the reason why they love Americans coming over there.
Now, like, think about what companies you know really coming out of Europe innovating. What billionaires getting minted in Europe? Exactly. All the talent comes here. It's still a cool place to live. It's old school, man. They've mastered quality of life. That's America's not about quality of life, man. America has had somewhat of a balance of quality of life, but what America specializes in is opportunity.
Productivity.
Giving people a chance to make gobs of money. That's what we do here, man. We make deals. We sell stuff. We hype stuff up and we make money off of it. And we do that because we get all the best brains from around the world and all the investments from around the world. People think it's good to put their money here because it's stable. You don't got to worry about no coup, no crazy government getting overturned, or no big civil war like you do in some of the other countries. They got similarly good products in South America and Brazil and stuff and all these other countries, but they lack the stability of the United States in the past. As we lose those monikers, these other countries are going to look for a more stable trade partner. And you know who seems like a very stable trade partner at the moment? Good old China.
China.
China, no.
Yeah, that's
China
actually
want the
one
number one
thing that I
spot.
really took note of is everybody kind of feared when Trump put those tariffs out that people would flee to China and try to make deals with them, but they didn't. They actually came to us. They came to the table and was like, "Yo, you know, how can we negotiate? How can we get a better deal?" And the main thing that America still has going for it is we have the best consumer market in the world. You know, $85,000 per person GDP versus 15,000 in China. Per person in GDP, and it's just like when you look at a company like Apple, it's really only one customer base that can support that $3 trillion company, and and how much it takes to consume to support them. And that's us. Now as China continues to grow in years to come, who knows, maybe they might become number one. But for now, we still got the number one market, and I think we need to yield our power based on that.
Yeah, so much of this is almost like you're trying to depreciate the value of the dollar. And if you start to depreciate the value of the dollar, and also you're trying to, what do you want to be the main industry in here? Manufacturing instead of the digital and service economies? Well, that's going to pay a lot less. Sure, you might have more workers with the job, but they're getting paid less, which gives them less purchasing power. So you're not buying all the stuff that you were buying in the first place, man. And just like, dude, dude, this man talking about bringing back the coal plants, man. Coal been done.
My only th-
Cole.
my my only thing
I'm
is
serious, dog. You look
to
at type in coal, man. He trying to bring it
to
back,
figure
dog.
out. I don't know what's going on, but what I do would like to know is this: what is the end game? I know people were excited for the rebound, and people were excited that he's sticking it to him. But my question to President Trump would be: what is the end game? At the end of the day, it's one of Shakespeare's best comedies is called "Much Ado About Nothing." Is this gonna be much ado about nothing, or is like what do you see? What is coming out of this, President Trump? Because that's all I want to know. I just see it on Twitter. You won't get an answer. You'll get a bunch of theories and like, oh, we bouncing back and all of that. But I want to know. I want to hear from him, like honestly, in his next little meeting, whatever. The reason we did these tariffs is because we want to get X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. Because I don't know what all this is for. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay. So it says the U.S. has imposed this is before they started fighting, a 34% tariff rate on China. The European Union 20%, Japan 24%, and Vietnam 46%.
Okay.
But then he pulled a couple of them, didn't he?
Well, actually, what he's saying is he pulled them. He's halted them right now. He's halted all of them except China.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what if our audience don't know what a tariff actually is? So a tariff is taxes on foreign goods. So if a guy in China wants to sell a robot like this, wants to sell a robot in America, and he wants to sell the robot for $10. The If he wants to sell this robot for $10 over here, we're going to charge him an extra, what's it say, 34%? We're going to charge him an extra $3.40 because to sell it in our country. So now, if he was going to sell that thing in our country for $20, now he's going to boost it up to $20.34, and that's adding the tariff into his price. Because I know, sometimes you got to do stuff like that because we understand what a tariff is. So as I just called them out, 34% for the European Union. For China, 20% for the European Union. Japan, 28%. That's basically what they're doing for each one of those countries to sell things. So, for example, they're gonna the prices. Which one is a Japan car? Toyota.
Yeah.
Yeah, Toyota,
So the
Honda.
prices of Toyotas will go up. The prices of a Nissan will go up. Those are Japan-made cars sold in America.
Right.
Even though they got
It's
plants in America.
and to answer
Yeah.
your question, Willie, what's the end game? I'll tell you the most compelling argument that I've heard about it. It's effectively that we as America, we cannot fend for ourselves anymore. We cannot save ourselves anymore. And what we mean by that is, or what is meant by that is, if you look at electric cars, for example, electric cars need batteries, right? And within electric car batteries, there are like rare earth minerals, right? There are only two companies that can refine and produce those rare earth minerals needed for electric cars, and they both in China. You know what I'm saying? Within the past year, no, I forgot what time period it is. Maybe it's year, 5 years. China has produced 350 ships, and we produced one in that same time frame. If you look at like when you think about war, and we spend all this money on military and stuff like that, we can't even sustain ourselves. Like if China just completely cut us off, we would be hurting, man. And the whole point of these tariffs and trying to get people to come back to America and build and manufacture is it so we can be self-sustainable again. Because it looked like China is self-sustainable, we just aren't anymore, and that's what this whole thing is about.
You
And
got to think about the scale of China, though, man. That's a much bigger country than this.
yeah, but he asked what was the end goal, and if that's what it is, man. We all know. I think all of us on this phone would agree, and we all know America is not self-sustainable anymore. Like,
Do you think that's a forgotten time? Kind of how like the European Union, how basically the European Union, for what I can recollect, was set up so that no country was superior to the other as far as needs, and that as a whole was needed to keep the few going, right? Like Russia supplies the oil, Germany has like a lot of the funds, and like it's all split up. It's not one country holds all the cards for everything.
mm-hmm.
Do you think we've moved on from that time? Because even though China is like, they're hitting on all cylinders, what's their biggest downfall, right? Because there is a con. Everybody has the pros and cons. Like you said, our con is we not self sufficient anymore because we don't do everything in house like what we used to. But what's China's con right now? What's hurting them?
They have a bunch of cheap infrastructure, from what I hear.
well,
Are they too
well,
dependent on us too as well? Like they can't support their own
They need us to buy
economic growth.
stuff that they're
They
making.
need us to kind of, because that's the only reason why you would respond with tariffs, right? They counter tariffed us because, but it's like, what,
I
we
don't
don't
think.
really import to them
In a
anyway,
lot of
All right,
ways,
export to them anyway.
I'm gonna
I
say
was
it
just,
to you like this. Okay, you said have we moved on from that? Okay, let's say we moved on from that, but think about the Cold War. You know what I'm saying? There was two superpowers, us and Russia. Imagine if we needed like everybody thought we might have to go to war with them, we might not. Who knows? Imagine if we was that dependent on Russia during the Cold War. Don't you see how that's concerning? That's how
Yeah.
it is for us in China. It's like it's the same situation, but like we dependent on them.
Yeah, okay, so America, I'll put it this way. They import things over here like little robot man. Little cheap shirts and things like that, right?
Right.
But what we send to them, what we provide to them, is things like pharmaceuticals for one. We have the best pharmaceuticals in the world. Gasoline to run their cars. They don't have gasoline fields like out here in Oklahoma or out in Texas. We
Mm-hmm.
import gas over to them. And what else was it? Like all kind of electronics, like valuable electronics, things like semiconductors. They
Yeah.
get those from us as well. But we pretty much own Taiwan, so they need those. If we ever go to war with them, it's gonna be over that semiconductor
In
production
Taiwan.
in
Yeah.
Taiwan. Yeah, and so that's the things they need from us. They make all basically trinkets and gadgets and gizmos, but we make things that really run the world. I mean, you can have a CEO all day, but if he can't get aspirin,
Yeah.
yeah, if he can't get, proper medical care, the whole country will die out. So that's what we pretty much battling.
So what you're saying is basically they gonna fold before us because at
no.
the end, because
Well, they
if
can find somebody else to get the stuff from. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere else they get it from, but it's not U.S. quality.
That's
Well,
that's what I'm saying. They're not who. I mean, this is what I'm saying. We got all these treaties, right? Like NAFTA, all this stuff. People we trade with. Like if I'm thinking electronics and I'm going out east, I'm thinking Japan. To be honest, I know China does their own thing,
Mm.
but like Japan, Korea, right? LG, Samsung, that's Korea. Japan, Hitachi, Sony, all of that, that's Japanese. I'm looking at China. If I'm America, and I'm trying to make this, how I'm trying to make it make sense. Like Anthony was explaining, why don't we just ostracize China and say, you know what, dude, we just gonna buy more stuff from Japan or
That's
buy
what's
more stuff
happening.
from South Korea,
I mean,
or
see,
we just gonna bypass
That's
y'all
what he,
altogether.
we
That's
that's
why
what he's
they
trying
got
to force with the
125%
tariffs.
on them right now.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
also got to realize we run in a pure cap, not pure, but for the most part, dude, we run in one of the biggest capitalism experiments in the world. And what is capitalism based on really doing?
Making money.
Market growth and producing things in the most efficient way possible. And if I'm a company in a free market and I want to produce goods the most efficiently for the best prices possible, where I'm going to source the pieces of that product at? Where am I going to build things at?
The cheapest place.
And
yeah.
who's got the most people to work and the cheapest labor?
China.
It's
Yep.
China. So they really are offering just a really sweet deal to the
With the
corporate private
workforce.
sector itself. And that's why
Hmm.
we're kind of we're basically trying to force our private sector companies and the private sector companies who want to do business here to kind of bend to our will and go and do things here versus there. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to a pure economic market based decision, it makes the most sense to do things in China, Vietnam, etc.
So if they do it here, right? Because we're building. I think we're helping the viewers, like it really break it down to what this really leading to. If they change course like they have in some cases, say we're going to commit to America. That just means when they come here, right, the prices are going to be higher because now you have a workforce that's demanding more up front. Is that correct? Like
Yeah,
if
you
I,
know how much your apartment costs out here.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. And so if we are willing to live with that in America, if I'm willing to live with my little gizmo, like let's say a freaking flashlight. In China, that flashlight would cost me $5. Over here in America, it's gonna cost me 15. If I'm consumer B and I'm like, you know what? If this is gonna cost me 15, but it's gonna be American quality and it's gonna support America, so be it. Is that what he's trying to get everybody to get on board and say, hey, bro, it might cost a little bit more, but at least you buying your own and stimulating your own growth.
Yep.
Exactly,
That's
and especially
exactly
you
it.
got to think in China.
That ain't gonna work. Black
They
people
have
been trying to get people to buy black for years.
dude. You think in China, dude, they have a more communist type of government. And so for one, people feel more. Everybody's also pretty much Chinese.
Yeah,
So for one, you've kind of got this one China kind of mindset, right? So
right.
Hmm.
people are willing to kind of buy into the idea of the country. So they're
Yep.
gonna buy from within. They're gonna support from within. It's
Yep.
they're willing to suffer and have less and eat less for their country to do better. When you start doing this stuff on consumers in America, mutiny. We ain't putting up with that, man. Because right now, you got people who would be considered more or less poor, and they got high definition TVs and cell phones. Like,
Yeah.
when you really think about like wealth and prosperity in this country, it's become more accessible to people who have less money because of the importation of these cheaper goods from other countries.
Yep.
So what you're saying is if we do it and we build it in America, CEOs, these companies that make billions of dollars because their profit margin is so high because of their expense margin being so low with the cheap labor. Let's say now that expense for labor and whatnot is tripled because that's what it's going to take to pay Willie to get out of bed to go work in that factory versus paying young Lee. And now their value of their company goes down because they're committing more to expenses than they were previously. Does that mean that some of these companies that we are looking at aren't realistically where they should be in the American market because they are benefiting out the fact of working in a foreign market?
Yeah, but until 2 weeks ago, bro, that didn't matter. They were valued
Exactly.
where they should be
Until two
valued
weeks
because
ago.
we had what is, like I said, supposedly a free market economy. In a free market, the government isn't controlling, how these companies are making goods or where they're making them at. We just want the best price with the most competition possible.
Right. So that's why they were doing all those favors to Trump, because you could argue, which I think is pretty clear after hearing this conversation, because Willie didn't know nothing to start, but now he know a little something, that Trump basically manipulated the market.
I mean, yeah, pretty
in a
much.
way. I do want to touch on what you were saying, Cam, about what's poor in America is actually like pretty like well off other places. I remember I
Hmm.
heard Bill Gates say one time, he was like, "Man, if you went and talked to an extremely wealthy guy 100 years ago, and you just took him to like just an average home today, you will walk up to him and say, "Man, I got this little computer and I can enter any question that I want and I can get the answer to it. And I got this little device that I can press a few buttons and I can call and communicate with anybody on earth." Say, yeah, and I can also get that same device to bring me food. I can, talk with my friends, do all these other things. Anyway, he named a list of a bunch of things that 100 years ago people would think is magic, like pure magic. And he said, "But see, everything I just named, you don't have to go to a multi-million-dollar house to find those things." He said you could find all those same things that rich guy from 100 years ago would think was mind blowing. You can find those in average homes in America.
Shoot, you can find those in prisons from what I've seen.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
mean,
You can.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, man, America has been this place to set the standard for quality of life if, around the world. Like America is this aspirational place where even if you're not doing the best in America, there is still a floor of how you should be living. And that's not for everybody. We do know there's people living on the streets. But for your average person who's, at least has some type of employment or a job and is working and whatnot out there, there's still a base level of dignity and quality of life that that person has. And a lot of the world is looking
Hmm.
to set the standard for that.
so do you think that we need
Me.
to get like the European model? Like when we were in Spain, let's like just reeling in on here. When we were in Spain, I ain't gonna lie, dude. I probably saw like 10 homeless people in Madrid, a population of 3 million people.
Dog, you
Where
asking for a European model when we just elected Donald Trump, man.
I'm theorizing now. I'm theorizing. Like, what's the idea? We say quality of life. It's quality of life of like Shaq. Hey, I can travel from Dallas to L.A. for $50 round trip. Like we got good quality food. I'm never gonna be the richest, but I'm never gonna be the poorest. If I need a mental health day, I can leave work for a whole month to get my mind right and come back to that same job. Like, what is the human dilemma? That now I will say this: they have a head start because America's what, less than 300 years old. So a lot of these countries I feel over there have gone through what we've gone through and said this might be the best way about it. Maybe not having a whole bunch of money. Maybe if everybody's just content and happy and they can travel and be free, that's good enough. I didn't mean to cut you off though, Shaq. I'm sorry.
No, you good. Keep going, man.
No, and so that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like for America, what is our new standard? Is it still now we're gonna be this great machine that's pushing out everything, and people here they gonna be a freaking system. They gonna be a
Yep.
freaking they just here to attack, destroy, and that's the mindset we having. Or are we gonna have the mindset where like, look, dude, we ain't gotta do all that stuff no more. All that stuff them boys in the Industrial Revolution had to do. This 2025, baby.
No,
Relax,
it's
baby.
no.
No,
That's
hey,
not gonna
look,
be
that's
us.
not
well
It's
the
not
look,
gonna be
American way.
it
us
can't be
because
America.
Look, man, they just
they
had a referendum on that this last election, man. Dog, we had a chance to elect somebody who realistically was probably gonna move the country in the direction of a more almost European, at least Canadian level of European type of country. More of a social safety net, more social programs, more government
Mhm.
spending, creating jobs, etc. And you know what? Americans rejected it. So we probably gonna do this for about 4 years. Realistically, we probably did about 8 years of this the way them Democrats is moving right now. So you better go ahead and get used to clawing your way to the top and stomping on people and keeping them from getting up behind you.
That's what I like though. That see, that's the business I'm in. You know what I mean?
Capitalism, man.
I
That's
like it.
capitalism right there, baby.
Exactly, man. See people. Yeah, they ask studying listening. Yeah, you ever think you gonna become the greatest? He said, I like to fight.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
I
what,
like
see.
to
Look,
fight.
Man,
that's what America sells, man. Optimism and dreams, man.
And you know what? People around the world still believe it. They still believe it. When we were in Portugal, this girl was so happy. She was our tours. She was so happy that Donald Trump was elected president because she was like, him being president is going to be good for us because he wants business. He wants to do trade. He wants to bring prosperity. And she was like, and everyone over there that's not prosperous is their own fault. She told that to us straight up,
Now,
someone that's not American,
Giving
but
y'all the
that's what they
balls,
believe.
boy.
but do you think that she actually knew that? Because just take one and once again, Cam, we are from Mississippi. So I asked these white guys. They were telling me all this stuff about Donald Trump, and I said, yeah, he great. What's your favorite executive order by him? And it's dial tone. They don't know. Yeah. What's the three
It
branches of
doesn't matter.
government? They don't know. All they know is they just like his profile, and that's what it
Exactly.
became. Yeah, they just like the profile. They don't know what's going on for
And there's
real.
nothing
Exactly.
more
But
American
but
than
that's
that, and I
worse
don't even
though.
blame them.
Like that's almost the argument we were talking about last week about should the person that we elect have an education. We just like them. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
That's
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 what I'm
that's just,
saying.
it's the same deal. But like I mean, but like are you saying that it's problematic though, or are you saying that it's not problematic?
Well, that can get in the way. That can get in the way. Like you just like the way somebody looks, and you just like the way they talking, rather than their actual resume of things they actually did. And that's nepotism. That they talk about DEI, but that's DEI of anything. Yeah. Hey, I just like you, and I'm gonna just let you in. I like your profile.
yeah.
So it's very hypocritical amongst that party. Now, did Kamala have a full drawn out plan? Was her platform kind of catered to a very specific amount of people
Mm.
and not a wide range of people? Yes, it was. But
It's
I was
majority of people though.
Kamala's.
I think realistically, she was targeted to a wider swath of Americans, but the messaging and the marketing, which is what I'm gonna say, what's America good at? What's the superpower of America? Sales and marketing, dog. It's a country ran by a bunch of NBA dudes. Like you look at these tech companies, man, and yeah, you got your few Mark Zuckerbergs, et cetera, of the world. But when you look at most tech companies, who's the actual CEO that's running the place? Usually some dude from sales or some dude from marketing. Dog, Elon ain't engineered nothing in a long time, man. He may have at one point, but now what Elon does best? Sales and marketing, man. That's how you get the people moving. That's how you get the masses. Trump, businessman, sales and marketing. He make it sound good, baby. Sometimes when I listen to Trump talk, I be like, huh, it's gonna be the best. We'll have the best. It's gonna be the greatest that there's ever been. And I'm like, damn, that sounds good.
He might be right.
And then you ask him for a plan, Cam. What he say? I got concepts of a
We've
plan.
got lots of plans. My aides have got them. They'll be up later. Don't worry about those for now. I'm just gonna tell you that it's gonna be the best that it's ever been,
Like,
and that's enough for most people.
Did y'all see that clip earlier when he got off the plane? They were asking him about why he removed the tariffs and all that. He was like, I was telling everybody that just be cool. Just be cool. It's gonna be all right. I got you. Just be cool. He literally said that. I was like, oh my God, this guy. But like
Well,
to
see,
Cam's point, I'm like, he
he can
seems chill.
he can sweet talk you. Don't let him fool
He
you. He
from New
sweet talk.
York, dog. He is slick talking New York dude. The same reason that people like Jay Z It's the same reason that people like Donald Trump, dog. They different sides to the same coin, man.
Which is so crazy that his main base is the exact opposite of City Slickers. That's all I'm
Yeah,
gonna
The
say.
exact opposite. But what they say? I sell water to a whale, man.
yeah. I'm not a businessman. I'm
Not
a
the business,
business
man.
man.
Oh yeah, I like that. But back to your marketing and sales, let me tell you what's peeping around the marketing and sales world right now. They say, y'all listen closely. If you ever see, you see how the stuff about the Metcalf and the guy Carmelo, that's division. Things about everything George Floyd, that's division. Whenever you see that, that's how you know the country is not in a area of trying to wage war. But if you ever see CNN promoting black and white and togetherness and we are America, they trying to get us to come together because what's going soon is war. So watch that. If you ever see that togetherness starting to be preached, a war coming soon. And pull your stocks.
Shoot.
If
Stock market.
I
if
can
you
see
ever
that.
see We Are America on both sides, and it ain't about that black that way and this white. If you ever see that, and them Mexicans, and they ever start trying to bring us together, get ready for it. That's what I'm waiting on. That's
But
what
do
I'm
you
looking
think
for.
that that's still the same playbook? Because they, I'm sure y'all heard the phrase "history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes." Is what they're doing right now kind of leading towards that same goal of Americanness? We're getting rid of all the people that are not real Americans. We're getting them out of here. We're getting those Mexicans out of here. We're getting those Indians, all them people out of here because they don't belong here. Only Americans belong here. Is
Perhaps.
that is that not what's happening? Making us feel special? Oh, we still here. Like I
Hey,
was telling my
hey,
parents the other day, I was like, what? I kind of feel kind of special being American. I feel
hey,
kind of good right now.
That's how you know
hey,
that boy from Texas.
hey, hey, Shaq, how you think that man that got
That's the
deported
9/11 playbook.
to El Salvador and his family say, "Why y'all deport him?" And Trump
He
say,
wasn't
"Hey,
supposed
bro,
to be.
we we can't get him back because we don't have no way to get him back, bro." That was crazy. Now that's crazy, bro. They said we can't get him back
Nah.
because we don't even know how to get him back.
They said, look, hey, everybody makes mistakes. All right, mistakes happen.
Bro, can you imagine him right now in that at Guantanamo or El
Wait a minute,
Salvador
dude.
talking about some bro? I'm not even supposed to be here, bro. I ain't even supposed to
And they
be
probably
here.
all like, yeah, right. All right, man. Neither am I. I killed 10 people last week, but like ain't supposed
Hey,
to be here.
hey, you
So
seen
he
the
couldn't.
you seen the Drewski thing where he say, hey, Playboy, I got two things for you. Got some good news and then bad news. Good news is the check went through. Bad news is they gave you life. Can you
They
imagine
gave
his
you
attorney
life.
saying, hey, Playboy, good news is, hey, they know they did you wrong. Bad news is, ain't nobody coming.
But but you know what? But just I mean, truth be told, that's a terrible situation, man. I feel bad for. I feel for his family. I hope that they do figure out something. But I think that just goes to show that like everything is happening in a way that's way too haphazard. Like they're
Oh, yeah.
literally every single thing. Like and if me, an American, even if I did, no matter who I voted for, I should be looking at this and being like, this isn't right. Like something wrong is going on here. This doesn't make sense. We're having too many mistakes. Why is it happening? I should be questioning my leadership. But that goes to a whole nother topic of do we actually question the people in charge of us or not? But in the story though, is that I think that we're literally seeing the ramifications of everything that they set into motion and them doing everything too soon, trying to make it seem like, oh, we're doing everything. And they're not. They're messing up along the way. They're tripping along the way,
Oh,
and
yeah.
all of us are gonna have to deal with it.
Hence,
Okay.
hence why we got tariffs and then we pull them back, like you said, Shaq. It's hey, let's do this sweeping action. Did they say anything? Nope. Let's keep it going. They said something. Dang it. All right, reel it
Yep.
back.
Pull it back.
Put it back.
Okay. One last thing before we move
Exactly.
on. Do y'all think long term these actions will be net good or net bad?
Net bad.
Net bad. I think Cam was spot on earlier when he said that this is in the bigger picture. This is just making us seem
Right.
less trustworthy.
Let
When has
people, man.
instability ever been good?
I'm gonna say net
Period.
good.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's an interesting one, man. I'm gonna do. I just got a quick point. Basically, Trump is treating this stuff like a true business, short term, short term goal, short term deal. Accomplish, accomplish, accomplish. Each transaction is small. Everything is incremental. That's not how you run a country or something. You talking about 10-year, 20-year treasury notes and stuff, man. These are a country has to be run with long-term plans, and the people have to stay alive, man. You can't
Last time something like this happened was the USSR, and they don't call it the USSR anymore. Leave it at that.
lot them dead.
I'm gonna
Cause
say
it,
net good because I think this is a changing order in the global trade order.
Oh man, you
But
Ray Dalio tells that what you
Look,
getting at?
hey, look, y'all know that since Trump won, we must be on his side because if he mess up, we messed up. You
oh,
know,
we
I know
messed
he.
up.
of
Yeah, yeah,
course, of
yeah.
course.
See, that's the problem. But okay, next topic.
Well, yeah. So let's move on to this next topic. Data came out: 51% of women ages 18 to 40 are single. This is due to a rise in income and education for women. Uh, single woman state not having negative stigma anymore, and apparently men are more interested in marriage nowadays. Um, do y'all think this is true? Like, do y'all think men think marriage is more important than women now?
I think maybe amongst the younger generations
If
who
yeah,
have probably lost a lot more of the markers of adulthood and success than they used to have, and they are looking for a little bit more purpose in their lives. So you're seeing young men join the church at a higher rate than women, etc. And I think for a young woman, I mean, they finally got a chance to choose and pick and decide what they actually want to do. I'm gonna be real with you. Everybody don't want to be running after no screaming toddler and then they're cooking dinner and doing all this stuff in the house. Some people like to take vacations to Lisbon and Portugal. Some people like to go to Tahiti, man. It's different lifestyles you can live, man. And that old school life, once you don't have to do it and you got options, it's not for everybody, man.
I blame the woman of the next 20 years for the Barbie movie. The Barbie movie is going to make a whole. You think women got it bad now? The Barbie movie is what's going to be the catalyst for even less of what you talking about, and even more women going out because I'm joking, but halfway serious. I don't know if y'all realize, like that Barbie movie was the whole thing of that was you ain't got to be that no more. That 50-year-old, like her whole thing with Barbie was the Barbie of 50 years ago ain't the Barbie now. The barber that was I gotta have a Ken and all that type of stuff, that's dead. Now you can go out and you can be whoever the hell you want to be. And so with that mindset now, I definitely have noticed that there are more women out here who are like, you know what? I ain't gotta have a kid. Matter of fact, I can adopt a kid, which, not to go too far off the rails, it's kind of a whole lot of reason we got a lot of these restrictions coming in now is because the hand at bay is trying to reel it back to say, hey, we need that nuclear family for other reasons. But I agree with Cam. I think nowadays folks looking like, do I want to take care of a screaming toddler or do I want to go to Spain? Because the way things turning now, the options to go to Spain is getting slim. You know what I'm saying? I know personally about some people
Oh,
going on a trip and they talking about I don't know if I want to go. I'm like, bro, if you ain't going now, when? Now is the time to do. Now it's like Arkeem said a couple years ago. We're in the roaring 20s right now. It's time to roar, dog, because it's gonna be a time when it ain't gonna be no more roaring. So you might as well.
so so the thing is, the nuclear family. has been and always will be the key to the American society, right? So if you go back and look at the richest people in the world, it's a nuclear family. It's very rare. And see, those women like that are supposed to be well with that mindset, very, very lower success rate than the woman who's chasing the screaming toddler.
Dog, I can't say that, man. I don't know.
Wait a minute. What you mean? You gonna argue with research?
I
You
mean,
gonna argue with
what do
research?
you mean by success rate? You mean by happiness? Because that's not what
No.
research says about happiness. Do you mean by money? Sure. Two
I
people.
mean, I mean, okay. I mean by money. I mean by health. I mean by just in the long run of things. Like, do
See,
you know any? Like, I'm gonna ask you this: do you know any 70-year-old single women just running around?
I mean, yeah, I'm being honest with you, dog.
I really.
Just being honest with you, man. The women that I've met and who like kind of, they went and got their degree, got professional jobs. They grew old, they didn't have kids and stuff and
And
whatnot.
what's the one thing they always say they regret it?
I mean, I'm sure they like to have kids, but the ones I know, dog, their life look way better than my than the women I know who got kids for the most part.
Well, we said nuclear family. We ain't talking about baby mama.
Oh, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, dog, how many people
Yeah.
actually staying together? When you
What
talking
do you,
about that nuclear
what do you
family?
mean? Well, see, this generation isn't old enough to know who's going to divorce and who's not. Because 10 years down the road, who knows who be together and who not. Our generation isn't old enough. I'm just marking off what I see from people that are 70. People our age have not reached 70, so we don't have any data on that. I'm going off of the people that I see 70.
Okay, I mean, I'm just saying, I know a lot of women in that kind of older 30s and 40s range, and yeah, I'm sure that some of them
Well, life reality ain't hit them yet. They still can party. They knees still good. But we talking about when
ain't nothing like your
time.
rich auntie.
Yeah. But see, that's the
They all
thing.
different,
That's the
bro.
thing. First, the hardest part about that rich auntie. Anybody could be an auntie, but it's that rich part. It's that rich part. So are you saying that? And I may get canceled for this, but this is the Foul Out podcast, man. I'm about to foul Shaq, man. I'm about to send somebody
I
a
thought
free
you
throw
running for
line.
office, bro. You just
No,
said you running for
yeah,
office last three
Women,
times.
women who are not taking advice from men are not as successful as the ones that do. It's a bunch of research that proves it. Look at the billionaires on the list. They
okay.
all
Dog,
wait.
do you want to get more specific and take a more microscope to our community? Cause dude, and also I came from a different part of the country than y'all from, bro. But man, when it comes to women, women outpacing men in education and spade. And I know
They
education
are.
does correlate to success.
But what kind of education is it's not
Those women who are
infrastructural?
successful in education and they go into the corporate world and they stay there without getting pregnant, because pregnant is really the only thing that holds women back a lot of times when it comes to the corporate world, man. If they don't worry about having them kids, it's usually nowhere but up unless one of us holding down.
That's cap.
That pre-
Nah, that's kind of true.
I'll say this:
I'm just saying,
that
bro.
pregnancy knock you out. He right about that. Cause think about it, Arcane. Like for the government, you get 12 weeks. If a chick get pregnant and she gone for 12 weeks, that's 12 weeks of not competing for a promotion.
You know
It's a
what?
12 weeks
quarter.
of like that's you basically. And then like one of the chicks who like just at our job who was kind of high up, she gave it all up, bro. She said she gonna go home and be a stay at home mom. That kid do knock you out. The kid is the downfall of the woman, not in a bad way. But for instance, in every demographic, every field of play, Serena Williams, top of her game, had a kid, took her eons to even get back to one Grand Slam, right? A lot of them just go home for good. The kid for the woman is now I am domesticated. It's like when I got that cat that y'all can't see Spade. When he got neutered or whatever, that was it for roaming the streets and howling at the moon. Homie just sit there and play with his feet.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and not
so
to be the dead horse on the kid thing, but also after they return back from leave, there's still like a good like 6 months of women having what they call pregnancy brain. So they're not fully functioning as they were like all cylinders before they had that baby. Like it's a real thing. I've seen it in real life with people. Like I've seen them go to 6 months and then later on I'm like, oh, you're a whole different person than when you came back from that. Like I was worried about you at first, but now I see, okay, you actually are a competent person. Like it's a real thing. So like Cam's 100% on it, man. That does hold them
Also,
back.
man, you got a two-income household, right? The woman has the child. Realistically, if it comes
Mhm.
down to who needs to make the sacrifice,
it's gonna be the woman.
it's gonna be the woman when it comes to career. She may take an easier job. She may take a part-time job. May cut back on staying after hours and working, so the husband can fully go into his and bring in that money. And I'm not. And don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. Well, she may be expecting your ass to do that at the same time, but just know, it just kind of one of those things. A lot of it's biology, man.
Oh,
But
for
when
sure.
you never start that biology, and you just let them climb unencumbered, the same way that we're going at it, man. From what I've seen personally, dog, women can do what we can do and more at times, man. Especially since, dog, we doing office jobs for the most part now, dog. You looking at spreadsheets. You know women don't miss nothing, dog. They detail oriented like crazy, man.
The
Yeah.
downfall of woman is that Bible and that baby. Because in the Bible aspect, a lot of time, this is why you think you say all that, Cam, and then you think, okay, why would they? Why did they? How come Kamala couldn't get support? At the end of the day, that Bible, like one of my friends told me, he said, "Hey, look, man, my wife is a strong Christian woman. You know what that means? Unless I commit adultery, she gonna follow me." She might make more money than me. She might have XYZ more than me. But she gonna follow me. And that trend is the nuclear families. At the end of the day, like, have y'all ever seen Great Gatsby? Heard of Great Gatsby? At the end of the day, bro, Gatsby was great, but Daisy wasn't leaving Tom for him. She did all that, but when Tom said, Daisy, that was fun, but now it's time to come home. What she do? She came home because she knew what her rock was, and that's how it is. And see, the issue is now is that you got a lot of these women who are like, I'm not gonna be that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna a marry outside
So
my race, a marry another woman, and that's the loss of control. So what do men do to control that? We say, okay, then we're gonna put you in a box. We're gonna put you in a box because if women like Cam was saying were unhindered, it wouldn't be 100 something years and we hadn't had a woman president, especially in these last 10, 20 years. If women went on some, but I'm telling you, man, they that baby and that Bible, speaking from the Bible Belt, which I guess Texas is the Bible Belt too, that will get women. Because some women don't think women should lead, straight up. However they feel, they don't think women should lead.
That's
Well,
true.
I mean, I look at it like it just goes back to that statistic that we spoke on a couple pods ago, man. Who's happier? You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Like the
okay.
51% of women that are single, that's cool, and like you feel like you might be trailblazing a path, but the tried and true methods are there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's
So
a
this is what
reason
I'm
why
saying.
your girl always asks you, where should we go to eat? You know what I mean? Why does every man across the country have that experience? Because that's not really what they want to be on. You know what I mean? Like,
The trailblazer is the man. The average profile of a millionaire. Cam, you okay? I heard your statistics, but tell me the average profile of a millionaire in America. Any one of those demographics say woman? No, it don't. None of it say woman. The profile of the average millionaire in America is in between 50 and 60, male, college educated, married, heterosexual. That's the average profile of a millionaire in America, and don't none of it say woman, dog.
That's not
Okay,
their
so
fault though.
wait. You can say that. You can say that they making more money, but the wealth in America is held by men. And
But you're
whoever get offended by me saying that, just get
no.
offended or whatever. But the profile. Okay, so the trailblazers of America is women. Whenever it's a science break, I mean, it's men. Whenever it's a science breakthrough in America, it's a man, and they have very similar characteristics to that profile. It don't change no matter where America is going, and you highlight this and this and that. At the end of the day, whenever we just wait it out, and then there's more women, so they have more chances at a success rate. But even where they have more chances at the success rate, the people doing the groundbreaking work are the men. Okay, the highest paid positions are engineers, accounting, and what was the last one? Engineering, accounting, and there's one more. All male dominated. Willie, you're an engineer. Well, hey, you're an engineer. How many women are there compared to the men?
It's a lot of
It's not
structural
many.
reasons for these things.
It's not many. Willie, what about your
Right.
office? See that's what I mean. Like we take these caveats and try to blast it up. Like people, like I'm into marketing. Like you said, you know, I'm really out there. I speak with some of the people who controlling the black culture and what we see. You know, and the things that I see and the things that I know that these guys know and that they putting out, they know they posting lies. They know they just trying to cater to a specific audience for clicks. But at the end of the day, the way you gonna make money, the richest people in the world are the nuclear family. You may not like the answer, but that's what it is, city girl.
Oh,
Your
that's
time, your time gonna burn out, city girl. That's just what it is. You not gonna outlast what's been here and how it's been.
You want to know why I think
Right.
some of these views are
The
somewhat
poorest people in America, hold on. The poorest people in America, most of their wealth is in their house. The majority of their wealth is in the house. The poorest people in America. Those people who above being in debt. So those are the people up under $200,000 worth of wealth that's in the equity in their house. The richest people in America are stockholders. And guess what? You can go back and look at it on that. What is the average profile of the person who owns over 10,000 shares in stock spread over this amount of time? It's the same dude, 50 and 60, heterosexual, married man. That's who hold this country together, man. That's who hold the country together.
okay. But look, man, let me
That
ask you
too.
this, man.
That too.
When you hear so much about where we are, kind of in the political sphere, what's the slogan of Trump's America right now? Make America great again. Take it back to another time. And when they kind of throw these arbitrary time periods when America was great, you know what was common then? Women ain't have no rights. So yeah, I guess a lot of dudes did have these jobs at these factories and stuff. Cause who was they competing with? Just a bunch of white dudes. When you when you look right now, what are you hearing the most about when it comes to young men? A crisis of modern masculinity. Young men being aimless, undereducated, and underemployed. We are racing to try to bring back trades, vocations, anything to keep these dudes or get them to do anything outside of sitting in their basements and playing video games. But you know what the young women are doing? Exceeding. We ain't over here talking about no young ladies.
Okay, you talking about the
Bro, I will say this though. I heard a guy. I was watching this podcast, and this dude, he's a stout Democrat, and he said, "Why do you think so many young men are running to the right?" And he's like, "Well, where else is there for them to go?" And when you really look at the political landscape, the Democrats push. Like if you looked at Kamala's website or the Democrats.com before the election, it said who we serve, underprivileged communities, women, so and so, disabled people. It had all these people. The one group that it didn't have on there was men. So
Okay.
so the things you talking about, men not doing this and men not doing that, that's a structural issue that is being sort of coerced over the past few years. But see, nobody thinks of that as a bad thing. Like how you said, women were marginalized in the past and stuff like that. But you wouldn't ever think maybe men are being marginalized today.
Oh,
You know what I'm
there's
saying?
dude. I'm saying there is a
Mhm.
big issue amongst young men right now, which kind of refutes a lot of the conversation we had earlier. Right now, America needs to take a look at what's happening to young men, and also, and I hate to say it, man, but young white men are almost have been demonized in the media for the last maybe 5 to 10 years and told that they too aggressive, toxic masculinity, this, all these things. And the educational system, school is based around sitting down, being quiet, and doing as you're told, with usually women instructors and authority figures, man. We've seen just young women have really caught up, man. When you look at statistics when it comes to education, graduation rates,
Okay, where I don't see these things, Cam. I see nowhere where it says women have closed the wealth gap on men. Nowhere. You if you ever
that's
read
because they're
those
just getting into
articles,
the workforce, though. This,
what?
like, dude, this generation of people, like, all this stuff is new. It's now. The young men of today are struggling, and the young women of today are thriving. That's the difference.
So are you saying they're thriving more than men?
Right now, yeah. The
So
young
you're
women are.
saying, okay, so you're saying there's a woman above all men in our generation.
I don't know about that wording, man. A woman above all
Well,
men,
I mean salary wise, there's a woman above at the top of this thing. That's what you're saying.
if you were to look at wages in some of the biggest cities in America, like say like New York, Los Angeles, DC, maybe I don't know about in Miami, but in some of like just the big hubs of like that, I would say I think if you looked at the data, you'd be very surprised among a younger age group wh- who is the higher earners there.
So I believe that you are. I believe that the world is now. This is something I always believed they could do. I believe that women have had an extreme pay jump in the freedom that they've gained over the past.
Since Title
But
IX.
I think in no capacity, in no shape and form, is the average woman out earning the average man in any age group. I don't believe that. That don't sound good. I found no research that supports that. I
Yeah, I
see.
know what you talking about, Cam. You talking about it was a study that said I think it did like 10 large cities, and it was like in 6 out of the 10, like
Yeah,
women
dog, that
out
wage
earned
gap that
them
women
a little
always
bit.
complain about,
But
it's not there like that. Like it
Okay.
used to be.
but
Well,
but see,
on
that was
welfare. If
only in select cities.
But the
Nationwide,
cities that
it's still.
matter.
but if it's true, who's the number one person on welfare? Is it a man or a woman? Who's the number one person that receives food stamps? Is it a man or a woman? It's a woman. So it can't have it both ways. These people can't own poverty and then turn around and say they own wealth. No, they don't. The thing is that's a lot of clickbait, and I don't think the woman
You
has
go to them
passed.
happy hours in the Northeast, dog, them professional happy hours and stuff. Shoot. Hey, we was at the entrepreneurship joint about a week or so ago. Who was with the black folks? Who was up in there?
I wasn't there.
You know what I'm saying? It was me, Shaq, and up in there. We were surrounded by women.
It's a woman's game, but that doesn't represent. That's like a drop in the bucket whenever it comes to the demographics on the sea. I'm talking about all over. I'm talking about white women, black women, Chinese. I'm talking about all in together. Is the Chinese woman out earning the Chinese man? I don't think so. Now if you say, hey, look, I'm gonna compare these white educated women to these illegal immigrant men, then of course, yeah. But I mean, they still say it's a what does it say that they pay men more than women on average? So you never know what you're
Men
looking at.
still earn more than women on average, but you gotta think a lot of
You
women.
think you're talking about they closing it? They coming up.
Dude, women that came up, bro. But I'm just saying, dog. When you look at who is getting the education, the graduation rates and the enrollment rates at our universities right now, women are tearing men to pieces. So much so that they're basically having to affirmative action get extra men in these classes. Because if it was just on qualifications, it would be too overwhelmingly women. Now, a
Okay.
lot of those women may decide they want to go and be homemakers and go into the nuclear family model because, hey, sitting up in them fluorescent lights all day, each and every day, ain't for everybody. But that being said, man, yeah, man,
Well,
we gotta
see,
change up stuff, man.
the reason why
Men
I'm
need women more than women need men. And I hate to put it like that, but in today's society, with technology and automation and the things that we've built, that's the way that things are structured, man.
so you say women, you say men need women more. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I
Because
was
men get emotional benefits from women. Women can get emotional benefit from each other. And once you take away the provision and the financial means that men provide to women, when they no longer need that, their reliance on men, it goes down, man. They just happen to rock with us. If you
I,
cool.
I get what you're saying, but no statistics shows what and the reason why I'm going at this is because these statistics are pushed out to our people to get the women to believe like be that strong, independent woman and da 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 da, and then get them to run into a wall. You know that's what I believe that is. You never heard anybody ever say that's a strong, independent white girl right there. Never heard that. You only hear that about black women because they want them to believe that they need to be by themselves and they don't need a husband. Well, all actuality, just because you're making money, the money that you're making does not replace that male masculinity.
Absolutely
It,
not.
it
But
don't
dog,
replace it. And see,
I'm
that's what.
your family. I'm
What'd you
just
say?
pointing it out how I see it, man. Them women,
Yeah,
dog, they ball. They at the bar. They at the restaurants.
because we got a whole.
Dog.
Yeah, yeah. Just because they got money to buy drinks at happy hour, that doesn't. And they only preach that to our girls. They only preach that to us. See, like I said about the strong white woman, you never hear that because they don't preach that over there. They only preach
What?
that to the black girl. She running to the wall, and we got a whole generation
What?
of YNs killing each other right now. Raised by who? Raised by who, Cam? Who raised the YNs? Who raised the automatic drum drive-by? Who raised the drive-by?
I didn't
he
raise
kept
Who raised the drive-by suspect, Cam?
Because at the end of the day, y'all,
There you
it's
go.
like
And see, that's what I'm talking about right there. That
it circles
strong,
But here's
independent
the
black
thing, dog.
sister.
I
it,
think
it
I
Man.
think the
circles back
marriage
because
really
y'all
matters
are
when we
arguing
talk
y'all are
about
arguing
kids.
nuance. At the end of the day, y'all, what's the point of life? That's what this is circling into. All
Oh
the
man.
statistics aside, all the who making more money now. At the end of the day, bro, all that other like what the dude said in Drake's song, all that shit is here today and gone tomorrow. At the end of the day, people want to find something that they can put their roots in, which is family, which is whatever.
In the South, dog.
And,
In
and,
the
and
South.
now this has
That's
been throughout the
everywhere,
world.
Cam. The
This this
South
is
is
this is this
Dog.
is a world this is a world issue, right?
so people up
Because
north don't have families, is what you're saying.
I would
yeah,
say, dog, what culturally in the North, I think people are more. It's more about accomplishment and lifestyle than it is about remaining tight knit with your
But
family.
people in the South got the most money. The billionaires and everything are most billionaires
all
ain't
I
that.
know
Taxes
is
is cheaper.
all I know is I lived in New
We got
York
the
for
most money.
I lived
So
in
that,
New York for like a year, and all my friends who I met up there, they married, right? They getting married, they finna have kids, and they from freaking Schenectady, New York. They from Syracuse. They as north as it gets. What I'm saying is, whether you from the north, the south, the east, or the west, there is a human dilemma. Which, whether you believe in whatever you believe, humans mate, right? Animals mate. Animals don't typically go through life alone, and that's just the norm, right? They find a partner, they procreate. Humans, we animals, we just a little bit more intelligent, and that can be dangerous at times, but we typically we go in the look to find a mate to procreate. And when you have that aspect, there is going to be roles within that, and they're inescapable. This ain't children of men where it's gonna come to a point where women ain't having no more kids, and now the hierarchy's really changed about the importance of women, and especially those that can have children. It's not gonna be a point where we sitting here where a woman gonna sit and say, "Why do I need a man anymore?" That just ain't gonna ever happen. Not in a realistic
Yeah,
But
society.
I would say this: look at those Japan and Korean birth rates.
Yeah, they're
what
not
about?
having kids. That don't necessarily mean that they're not looking for partnership. Because this is the thing, their birth rates are low, but their suicide rates high. Why is that? You see what I'm saying? There is a dilemma there. There is a sense of self worth, and there is sometimes in finding a partner or whatnot, a significant other, whatever you want to say it, there is worth found in that. Because even if you hate yourself, you can say, "Well, I love so
Somebody
and
else
so."
love me.
Exactly. I love so and so, and that's more than enough reason for me to live. It's because I have this bond with so and so, even if I hate myself. So that's what I'm saying. We getting lost in the weeds with this, but at the end of the day, bro, the human
Yeah.
dilemma has been the human dilemma for the last however long you think Earth and humans been existing. That has been the human dilemma since a nigga was walking around with a stick, beating another dude upside the head. It was let me get that woman. It was some sense
Well,
of
I,
partnership,
I
some sense of
understand what you're
longing.
saying, man, and I definitely believe in the unity of people.
Man, that's what I'm saying.
I
He's
just
trying.
think that society is getting to a point with all the artificial things. We like, dog. Back in the day, you was at home. Grandma might have had 13 kids because she didn't have nothing else to do. Now, there's tons of other stuff to preoccupy yourself with. You binging TV shows and stuff, dog. It's just a different world, man. And look, I just looked it up. Japan, they just saw the lowest number of marriages in 90 years. Fewer than 500,000 couples got married last year, man. Couple that with a lowering birth rate, dog. They can't keep the Pampers off the aisles, man. People just getting they selling more Pampers for old people than they are for babies.
Look, that's a real problem, but I think that's going.
What? Look,
Uh,
Cam is unhinged.
but
hey, look, bro.
I do
Cam
just
is
want to say,
anti-family, bro.
right? Yeah.
Nah,
But
bro,
what I
it's
really,
crazy because that's one of the issues I have with the Black Lives Matter organization. They was anti-nuclear family, man. Black people, dog, we can't do all that new liberal stuff like everybody else can, man. We still trying to get some footing. We gotta do stuff a little more old school, man. We need to be focused on them old school building families and communities, man. All that new age liberal stuff is for people
Of
with.
course, they're gonna push that on
but
Black Lives Matter because it's worked for hundreds of years. Get them niggas to break up the family. Look, they didn't break up. All right, so do you agree? And I'm gonna let you go, Shaq. I gotta work Cam today, bro. So with so when welfare drove the man out the home, do you agree they did that, or do you think that's just a
No, that
conspiracy?
was the government, dog.
Why did they do that?
They try to tear down the black family structure.
Okay. So if they trying to tear it down,
Man.
if they tried to tear it down, then they not just saying, "Ah, yeah, we gonna cut their hair." That'll show them. Now let's break up the family because that will affect them in the long term. Have you ever read the Willie Lynch theory? I have.
Dog, I done read the Will Lynch theory. I done read the Moynihan report,
Okay,
dog.
and what did it say about a single mama raising a kid? Then I know you seen it.
Look, man, I know the downfalls of and here's the thing, dog. We having about 7 different arguments right here at the same time.
No, we ain't.
I'm pro.
yeah, y'all really are.
Pro nuclear family raising kids. I'm just saying, when you take the kid out of the equation, man, and it comes down to just that in partnership by itself without the kid, man, the whole equation changes for what people want and what they need realistically. That's all I'm saying.
Well, look, the people who with children run the world. The guys who do not, the people not gonna like their profile and throw them out of here. Look at Kamala.
We
No
get enough
children of her
money.
own, thrown out. Donald Trump, 9 kids, 5, however many he got, they got him. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what America is about.
But
That's the
dog, he
best
bought
looking
them
profile.
wives.
Hey, you ain't caught her, you bought her, but she's still on my. Never mind. But look, Cam, see the reason why they did that is simple. It's to go back to the Willie Lynch theory. If you have a mom raise a child, we got a whole feel for it. Just put on their teen shoots in your Google. It's gonna be a black boy. Go and look up his family dynamic. He ain't come from no mama and no daddy. He came from mama telling him if somebody say something to you, you say something back to him. I'm gonna talk with my guns, cause you ain't nothing but a female with muscles. You ain't nothing but a female with rage. That's what they are. That's what these little boys are. That's what they are. Somebody just a little female with rage and don't know how to think logically. It's all emotion. And that's what they want. That's how they gonna keep the prison systems going. That's how they gonna keep us out there uneducated. Because daddy gonna tell you how to go the long term. Mama gonna say, follow your heart, baby. What daddy gonna say? Boy, do something to get you some money. All right? Yeah, yeah, for real. Yeah,
Yeah,
go make you some money. Okay? So, but that's what they want to keep out of there. Because a father is very important.
I never said it wasn't.
Exactly. It is. It's
Give me
very
the
important.
option.
Hold up. Let me cook Cam one more time, bro. Look. And
Y'all ain't
it's
even
my
let
clip.
Shaq
No,
say what he
no,
supposed to
hey,
say,
this my
man.
clip.
Yeah.
Man, this is another thing my daddy did. This is another thing my daddy did. And I was in the car for both of these. Man, one time it was this white lady drove by my mama and almost hit her. And the white lady threw a finger sign at mama. Mama drove back by, blew the horn, threw a finger sign back at her. The lady threw a bag of fries. And it just was just this, she was cussing at her. They was cussing back at each other. Just like that. And I thought, hey, yeah, you don't let nobody talk to you and get in your way like that. Another guy, same thing with my dad. Drove in front of the car, did something like that. He rolled down his window and threw a finger sign at my dad. My daddy just said, like I said, Daddy, snap on him. Say something back. He said, well,
Snap on
no, yeah, I was a kid, snap on him. Tell him your mama's so black as street when he stepped outside, the street lights came on.
him.
Yeah. Snap on him. He said, well, you never want to let nobody push you to the point where you're going to snap. See, and you never want to let nobody push you to the point where you want to go and put your hands on them, because that's not you controlling them, and that's not you controlling the situation. That's him controlling you. So about 2 years ago, we came home from the airport. We was coming home. This gay guy pulled up in front of us like that. And he threw a finger sign at me. And how do you think I react? I react like, go ahead, man. And
We
he
both
wanted
busted out laughing.
so that's one. So I guarantee you, that boy raised by his mama, and we was raised with our daddies, and we let him go, because if it would have came out to it, I'm in my car, my glove compartment right there. We easily win that battle, but I let him go because I'm not gonna let that situation control me, and it's just something small, and you just go ahead. I'm not gonna let nobody push me to the point of snapping. And that's why a father is important, because that lesson stretched out all throughout my life. And my mama did a lot of things too, but it's certain things that she can't teach a man. You know what I mean? And it's certain things that a man can't teach a woman. But in our situation, in our generation, it's the mamas raising the boys. But that masculine energy inside of a young boy's life is very important. But go ahead, Shaq. I'm sorry, man. You know.
I ain't got nothing to say on this topic. I'm good.
Snap on him, Daddy. Snap on him.
I am good. Let's talk about that Drake song. Let's talk about
Y'all
that.
Baby
crazy.
girl, I want to see your daddy. Let me see your
Yeah.
twirl.
Uh,
The question is Drake back? I mean, I
He
know
never
I
left.
know I'm not tripping, but I know y'all feeling the impacts of that Some Sexy Songs for You, man.
I I think
It's
you are
really hitting in
tripping.
the streets right now, man.
It's only been out for a couple months.
Man, the impact is hitting though. And then you want to
Kendra's Kendra's album came out in November and was people were still listening to it in
But you
March.
saw he got in
Brock,
trouble
did
for those bots,
Spotify
though.
remove streams from Luther for botting? Spotify did remove streams from Kendrick Lamar and SZA's Luther
Yeah.
235 million streams got slashed. Oh yeah, boy.
Mm.
I think
Yeah,
it
and
might it might be it might be
yeah,
time.
he also went from 110 million viewers, 110 million monthly listeners. He dropped down to like 98 or 99 instantly, just like that. So, you're crazy if you think that they not boosting him up a little bit, They boosted him, and like Kanye said, it's definitely some black hand. You think that he just got all them Grammys out of nowhere? No. But it was a black hand for Drake at one point in time. But yeah, this is a part of some marketing. If you think a Grammy can't be bought, then I don't know what you think about this. If you think that it's super, yeah, and look, they chose Kendrick Lamar over Lil Wayne for the Super Bowl, and then Kendrick got up there, and the majority of America was like, "Yo, what the hell?" Because it was forced up there. Nobody wanted Kendrick. He didn't have no hot music, no hot songs, nothing. He just kind of got up there.
We ain't gonna talk
So
about that. We ain't gonna talk about that, Cam. Don't-
go ahead and talk about it. But look, I like Kendrick. I don't, I may not like his new music like that no more, and I always like Kendrick. But as a fan, I ain't no Drake fan. I'm a Lil Wayne fan for anything. That's
Now,
my
if you a
pretty much
Lil
my
Wayne
point.
fan, ain't no way in hell they was putting him on that stage. Let's be real.
Yeah, but whatever.
People would
But
have had a better time.
No, what I'm saying,
more
and I don't mean to dish you, but dude,
he's
they say
more.
that about every rapper. Every rapper that's
Nah,
been on the Super Bowl, dudes
they
were
didn't
saying, we
say
don't
that.
know what the Weeknd talking about. Weeknd had dropped his hottest album ever. He went up there and did the Super Bowl in Florida. No one, all them white people, 'cause that's who go to the Super Bowl. I'm like, Cam, now, who you think affording $6,000 tickets? It ain't black people. So they the ones in there talking about Pawpaw ain't know what he was saying. Cause Paw
Wait a minute. Who you
Nah,
think
man.
listen to the
Man.
weekend? Black
Let
people or
dude
white
talk.
people?
Wait, Willie. Do
huh?
you do know that the biggest consumer of hip hop is a 25-year-old white male?
I'm not talking about the biggest consumer of hip hop. I'm talking about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is $6,000 a ticket, right? That's what it was in New Orleans. And New Orleans in the South is a little bit cheaper. Anyway, what I'm saying is the Super Bowl reaction to those who are at the Super Bowl are not 25 and 24-year olds. It's Paw who bought them tickets saying, what the hell is this? That's why the biggest reactions were for Prince, were for ACDC, were for Coldplay. Like people that even the older generation, because let's be real, dude,
Fair point.
Harold Sr. ain't listening to the weekend talking about I gotta whatever. He ain't listening to Kendrick. He ain't listening to Lil Wayne. You know?
Okay,
So
okay. So you say that, right? Now, Lil Wayne performed at the Minnesota Fair with all white people and sold it out.
Minnesota State
Man,
Fair, brother. I'm talking
And
about
the
the
so
fair,
Super
wait,
Bowl.
the
wait a minute,
fair.
wait a minute. Lil Wayne has never had a canceled concert in his entire career. Kendrick Lamar, who was supposed to have 100 million Spotify listeners, his tour ain't even sold out in his hometown, man.
Brother,
Come
I'm
on.
see
All
you
right, so
arguing
look,
semantics
no,
again.
no,
I'm just
I'm
telling you,
arguing who's the biggest. I'm arguing who
no, no,
has
no, no, no,
more
no, 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 no,
I
no,
think
no,
I
no,
mainstream
no,
think
no,
the
hits.
no.
real issue is Lil Wayne not in shape.
They're not finna put that out there
To
like that. That's another part too. They're
perform
not finna
at
put that.
that caliber,
They're
man.
not finna put that in
Okay, but
because
same time, same thing. You think Metallica was in shape? Do you think that you say you
Oh,
say he's not gonna let him come up there and sing Lollipop?
when was
but but
But
but
that?
but,
dude, they
but
had Janet Jackson pop her stuff out on TV. Had Justin
exactly.
Timberlake.
But
They
that was
always have. But see, look, they always have young talent on the Super Bowl. They never usually have old people up there, Willie.
They had
yes
Aerosmith up there. They
they do.
had
Okay,
Yeah, they
Aerosmith up
do.
there.
okay.
They do.
Crazy. They just changed it up with Jay Z.
Okay,
Dude, if you think about the Super,
Michael
dude,
Jackson was not old when he performed up there. Michael
brother,
Jackson performed in 1991, which would have made him what?
He was towards
38?
the end of his career. He was
He would have been like 38.
Is
brother,
that
we
not
talk.
that? Is that not the age Kendrick Lamar is? How old is
Yeah,
Kendrick?
that's what I'm saying. They never have old people up there. When Prince performed, how old was he? You
Man,
think it.
what?
Prince was about to die a couple years later.
Hold on.
When Prince performed, bro, he was north of 50, dog.
North of 50? Okay,
Man, they
but
had
that's
the
what.
Rolling Stones
But
one
see,
time,
my
man.
thing is Willie making it seem like only people that was in the stadium was saying they didn't like Kendrick's performance. That ain't
No,
true.
no, 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 no. I'm
It's
not.
people like
I
all
was.
over the country.
Yeah, there's people everywhere. Like me personally, I didn't like the songs he performed. I want him to perform some hits. Not this dude performed a Drake diss song. He performed Euphoria. Like,
My
dude,
So,
what the
my
heck?
issue with the
so
Kendrick Lamar show is we just kind of had Kendrick at the L.A. Ensemble like a year or so ago. You know
most
what I mean with
people.
Dr. Dre and
Oh,
50
I'm
Cent,
frozen. Shoot, let me stop.
and he did his hits like all right already then. So it was hard
Well, perform them on the big stage because I still never seen that ensemble that you're talking about.
with Dr. Dre, 50 Cent. What was that?
Oh yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. He
But he
Wait,
came.
didn't
what was it?
perform. He didn't perform his music. He performed like features with those
He
guys
did
on
all
it.
right.
Eh, I'm back, I
Okay.
guess. So a lot of people like I don't know what y'all talking about, but for the Super Bowl, right? A lot of people that performed that up until recently, correct? And in some of those cases, like the Weeknd, Kendrick, they were at the tail end of their career. Like Usher, when he did his, that dude had that on residency in Las Vegas for like a year. He was not putting out no new music. He was performing, "Let It Burn" for 2 months straight at a Las Vegas residency. Look at some of the other previous guys. Look at when they did the Latin America one with Jennifer Lopez, with Shakira. They weren't putting out no new songs, man. Shakira was
Okay.
doing Hips Don't Lie. When they
Bro,
did Coldplay ain't released a new album and I don't know how long. Ever since
bro, when
so
we were in seventh grade and Lollipop dropped, if somebody was 25 listening to that song in the club, they 40 now.
Okay, so you say they
What?
never have young
2000,
people.
they had
Kendrick Lamar, Usher,
Heartbreak.
young.
no.
Rihanna,
I'm
young.
not saying
Snoop
young
Dogg,
people.
young. Weekend, young.
I'm not
Shakira, young.
I'm not saying
Maroon
young.
5, young.
Shakira's
Justin
young.
Timberlake, young. Lady Gaga, young. Coldplay, young. Katy Perry, young. Bruno
All right,
Mars,
all right,
young.
all right,
You
all
talking
right,
about
bro.
Katy
Beyonce,
Perry,
young.
Lenny Kravitz, and Missy Elliott?
But I'm saying, dude, they have young people up there.
Dog, in 2010, they had the Who.
I don't think Coldplay was
With
young
Kevin
though. I ain't
Moon
gonna
up
say.
there. What? Kevin Moon? What?
When I
No,
say
they had
and
Bruce
when I
Springsteen in
say young, I
2009.
don't mean
Bruce
young like in
Springsteen?
age. I mean in their career. Like when
Black Eyed Peas.
The reason why Jay Z got on board, right? The reason why the NFL brought him in because they wanted to bring
Who
more
the
culture
hell?
to these Super Bowl performances because they were white dominated. Like if you look at before Jay Z got on, like look at the year that Jay Z got on and the years before, it wasn't a whole lot of black performers, or even in hip hop realm, right? Michael Jackson, that was Supreme Dream. But he wasn't hip hop, right? The turn of what has happened is now it's more hip hop centric, which is why white people on Twitter, before Kendrick, they could have had Drake. They could have had the greatest black person ever up there. They could have had MLK up there. They would have had a problem. What I'm saying is that I don't think in them Super Bowl situations with Kendrick announcing a tour while he got announced as the Super Bowl thing, he was gonna do like a circle back to my greatest hits. But it's not about Kendrick. It could have been J. Cole. The reaction would have been the same. You think J. Cole gonna
Okay.
get up there and start singing? I'm a born sinner.
No, ain't nobody going
No,
Cole
to
ain't Cole ain't
Cole
got the catalog to go up
dog.
there
Don't
either.
for
he
America.
do
Yeah.
got the catalog. So you telling me J. Cole ain't got 10 songs?
To put us to
Bro,
sleep.
he one of my favorite rappers of all time.
Well,
He
you
make
don't like Cole, Cam?
Dog, I've been
wait,
listening to Cole since everybody on this call, dog. But what we not gonna do is put this man up on no Super Bowl stage talking about don't save her. She don't want to be
Y'all
saved.
I
crazy.
agree.
Ain't
Name
nobody
me three
going
I
to
songs
that.
by
love
the
J.
Who.
Cole, but I
Name me
agree,
three
bro.
songs by the Who.
You said what?
Name me three songs by the Who.
Oh, that's not my jam, dog.
Okay,
I mean,
that's what
Kevin,
I'm done.
I just
That's
dog.
it.
All I
That's
know is
it.
Kevin
That's
Moon
it.
was a
I'm
good
done.
porn
That's
guy,
it right
dog.
there. That's the what?
It's all relative, man.
It's what
It's
I'm
all
saying. It's
relative.
all
Kevin Moon and them,
relative.
dog. That's all I know.
But see, Willie, don't you think that is people other than the Who that could span across different generations and different racial groups and
No,
different every yes there is, bro.
But no, I don't like, dude. Honestly speaking, can you name me like other than like Usher? Justin Timberlake. I can see that. Bruno Mars was even a stretch when he did it because he didn't have the catalog that he has now. I don't
Oh no,
think.
dog. Bruno Mars is always on the radio, man.
And when Bruno did it, he
He
did it
got
with
a
a
he
group.
has a Las Vegas residency.
Well,
He did
hey,
it with a group. I mean, he just had
Willie,
it.
if your point is that it's not an artist that could span generations and racial groups, I don't know what to tell you.
What I'm saying is now, bro. The issue is now, but a lot of them are dead, right? Prince dead. It's just not like okay. For instance, for next year, who would you have number one? You say Drake. My parents don't know Drake, bro. They don't
Dog,
know a
if
Drake
yo,
song.
bro, I'm gonna be real with you. They're not getting Drake, but if your parents don't know Drake, dog, that's on them. Everybody
My
knows
Uncle
who Drake
Brady
is.
don't know Drake. I mean,
That's true.
when
If
I
your
when you
parents
say
don't,
no Drake,
Okay,
Cam, when you
now.
if
say
your
no
We
parents
Drake,
talking
don't
about the
know one
biggest
dance,
musicians
that's
in the
on them.
world right here.
no,
Or
y'all
God's
tripping,
plan.
y'all
They know
tripping,
Or
God's plan.
Hotline Bling,
y'all
yeah, that's
tripping
on
now.
No,
them,
even
bro.
if they don't
Y'all
know Drake
wildin'. So
music, they
Cam,
know
your
who
parents
Drake
know
is,
Hotline
dog.
Bling. My
Dog,
parents finna
it's
be
not
70
about the
years
song,
old. You
bro.
think
They
they
know
know
who
Hotline Bling? Y'all
they
out
know
Dude,
y'all
I
who
know
Drake
rabbit
is,
mind.
bro.
facts.
Now, if you
They know
play
who
I
Drake
Charlie
is.
mean,
Wilson or Beverly
Dog, don't no white
or
people
some
know
Beverly
about
up
no
there,
Charlie
some Bev,
Wilson, dog.
some
He
Billy
don't get
Ocean,
it, Cam. He don't get it, Cam.
Dog, come on, man.
Tripped
Come
out.
on, dog.
you
Tripped
wildin'
out,
now,
Will.
dog. Drake, dude, my parents are almost 70. You realize my mama was in black and white when she was born?
My dad is in his 70s, bro, and he knows Drake.
right? He say,
Like, bro, let's be real. So your daddy can sit there and say, "Hey, play this exact Drake song. Let me rap it."
Dog, it's not about that, bro.
What's
It's
it
no.
about
about
the
then,
fact that
Cam?
he's
What's it
familiar.
about? They
It's
can hear a
somebody he
beat
can
and say
be
that sound
familiar with,
familiar.
dog.
This
Y'all
man,
tripping.
his
Look,
mama
this
was
is a
born
Drake
at.
propaganda. I'm finna foul out. These niggas on here want us to sit up here and worship Drake's feet like he the only nigga worth getting on stage and dancing. And I love Drake and I love this. But if y'all think Harold that owns the damn shoe shop down the store can name you 5 Drake songs, or Billy Bob the farmer can get up there with his son and be like, "Oh yeah, I really
All
like
right, all
listening to
right.
Best
Let
I
me
Ever
say
Had."
this:
Y'all, wow.
If Wayne played back that thing up, your parents wouldn't say, "Oh, I know that."
No, they don't listen to
All
Lil
right,
Wayne.
Dog,
bro.
when
All
your
right,
parents,
bro.
bro,
Now,
some
if you
of
All
if
you,
my
right,
parents
bro.
play
Nah,
like
dog,
it's so
you from
relative, bro.
Mississippi, dog.
Back
you
that
would know
thing
that.
We
up.
can't
Willie,
have
they would know
gospel at
that,
the
Willie.
Super
They would.
Bowl.
Bro, if
Hell,
But
that
we
doom,
can with Trump
doom,
brother.
president
doom,
now.
boom, bro.
If Wayne played back that thing up, you mean the
Your
juvenile
parents over
song?
here never would have made it at the
He's
Super
on the
Bowl, dog.
song.
We not
Dude,
about to
No,
do
but
that.
if
what I'm
Wayne
saying
played
is,
back that thing
what I'm
up,
saying is,
my,
my parents would have like they would know like when you say know the song, they would be like, "Oh, I've heard that before," but it wouldn't mean anything to them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Hey,
songs.
let me ask you this.
What
What if, like, because this is the alternative type of band we gonna
now?
get.
If they play Luther Vandross,
No, Luther's dead.
That wouldn't work, man.
bring them
Okay, I'm
back.
saying, what if they put the
This is
Grateful Dead out there?
no, that's not
That's
straight.
what
That
I'm
is
saying, bro. Because that's what we. If we wasn't getting Kendrick and them, that's what we would be getting.
Grateful Dead, probably. You might get John. Look, let's be real. The Super Bowl halftime show
I
really
get the
just got
Strokes.
popular
If we can
in
get
the
the Strokes
last,
on.
30 years. But yeah, dude, I don't know who you
Damn,
put out there.
man.
What?
what?
Y'all wilding though, bro. Yeah,
30
hey, look,
years?
it's a lot of Drake
That's a
propaganda
long
going on.
time,
All I'm
dude.
gonna say is, bro, Kendrick got 98 million. If they corrected it and it's supposed to be 98 M's, I'll take that, bro. And
wait a
I
minute, it's a
love Drake.
98 now? It's
I
a
love,
98
huh?
now?
It's
It's a
98.
98 now?
It's 98. I just checked it.
It was 99. See, they still pulling it, bro.
That's fine. Hey, look, at the end of the
Y'all
day,
talking about two different things.
we gotta quit letting black men fight each other. Let us unite for something. If we
Have
can't
you had
unite in
Blink
hip hop,
182 yet?
what we gonna unite in?
What do you?
I just got beef with
You
Kendrick
you just lose
because
in this
he's
argument and
supposed to
just
be
lose to unity.
the most pro black dude out there, but he allowed a bunch of Jews to use him as a pawn. But
What that
Who
supposed to
you
That's a
mean?
whole
talking about
nother,
over
that's
there,
a
dog?
whole.
I ain't
Hold
trying to
on.
foul out tonight.
What
I
you
ain't trying
talking
to
about over
foul out
there, dog?
tonight.
How
All
you
right,
feel?
okay.
How we
Let
feel
me
like
explain.
feel if
Okay,
he a
let me explain to
Gentile
Whoa,
you.
Jew?
All right, so let me explain. Let me explain what he's talking about, right? So
whoa.
you got Kendrick, who's supposed to be, I'm against the system. I'm
Oh
fighting
my
against the.
gosh.
Wait a minute now. Y'all just hear me out. Kendrick is the I'm against the system. I'm fighting against the people. I'm on the outside looking in. I'm the warrior, and pretending that Drake is the guy in the system, right? But in actuality, that's what his music is about. But in actuality, Kendrick gets all the Grammys, which is picked by Jews. He gets the Super Bowl
Whoa, okay,
performance.
Oh
Wait a
wow, yeah.
minute. See, y'all cut me out. You see, you trying to cut me off. He get everything. He get everything. He is actually the company man. And Drake is the one who actually is going head up with the
Bruh, so let's be
establishment.
real.
Drake dissed the
Let's be honest,
Grammys
because
at the
this
Grammys, bro.
conversation
Yeah,
has
Drake
turned
dissed
crazy.
Wait a minute. No,
This part out the whole thing, bro. Be real with you, dog. Right? We can't. We
Drake
like.
is the one fighting. Drake is the one
We can't
fighting.
even have a conversation.
Drake is the okay. So the Grammys like Drake. I mean, the Grammys like Kendrick more, but the people like Drake more. I mean,
Bro,
it's
they both
evident. The
got
people.
played. I don't think that's hard to say. Why is it hard to
Okay,
say they
so
both got finessed? They both got finessed.
Nobody
um,
got finesse because they're both rich.
yeah, nobody got finessed.
No, what I'm
But look,
saying is they both got pitted against each other. It wasn't like the Jews made a mockery of Kendrick and Drake
Oh,
was the
dog.
shining
When we
knight. They
gonna
both
stop
got
talking
pitted
about
against each other. They
food?
both was
Well,
fools.
that's actually what we about to find out because Drake's
okay, because
lawyers
Drake got
granted discovery
access
on
discovery to his
to
contract
UMG. Yeah. So we
to
about to
Kendrick's
find out
contract.
if
I think the
Kendrick
better
got
thing.
incentive to diss Drake.
I
All
think
of them did. I'm telling you right now. Rick Ross, ASAP, all Metro, Future, all of them got incentive
Hey,
to
bro,
diss
I ain't gonna
Drake.
lie. I'm like Trump now, bro. I'm about America. I ain't worried about Canada. I ain't worried about none of them other
No,
people.
bro.
If it ain't America, bro, I don't really care, dog.
I'm
I
on
don't really
God's
care, bro.
side, bro. I'm
Yeah,
on
I'm on
God's
God's side.
side.
I ain't on now one of them side.
Oh, not everybody
But
on God's side. I'm like Bill Maher now. A nigga make a song called "Shoot a Nigga, Kill a Nigga," but want to thank God. All right, all right, all right. My song,
Bro.
shoot that. My song, run down on that boy. I want to thank God for helping me write this song called "Run Down on That Man." Y'all saw
Oh,
that
dog,
Bill Maher?
that's our fault
That's a
on that,
hilarious
man.
Bill Maher
I,
sketch.
I don't know. Well, I don't know what y'all, dog. I don't know why people get up here blaming other people for. Who made the song?
These
Who
boys know
danced
what
to the
they
song?
doing,
Who
man.
danced to the song when it comes on, man? Black people don't have nobody to blame but themselves, man. Stop making excuses for the stuff that you doing and stuff you consuming and stuff you supporting,
That's
man.
what I'm saying.
Come
They out
on,
here
man.
trying to find a hero.
Man,
They all know what they doing.
we gotta get
Come
into
on,
the
man.
music industry one day because I saw this executive. He was like, "Yeah, we wanted to make a label and we wanted to control urban music." He said, "So we made a deal with Cash Money and Master P's No Limit Records. We had about 40% of urban music just off those two deals." Anyway, we'll get into that another day.
Man, just watch Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and that'll tell you all you want to know about black people in music. Goodness. Shout out to
Oh,
August
you
it's
wanna
only on a
you
B2
wanna make
label.
that required watching
Oh my!
and
If
some
you want to
homework.
get in any industry, I run by people. I'm gonna say people. You should watch Ma Rainey's Black Bottom to get a full circle look at what you're really getting into. It's a great. The, August Wilson is one of my favorites. Great guy. But the subliminals that he puts in his stuff is really great. I wish more black people were watched his stuff because he has some great subliminals. Not just fences, but even a piano lesson. If you haven't seen that, great one. Great one.
Sure. But yeah, guys, anybody got any closing thoughts?
What about the Ja Morant thing?
Oh yeah, let me tee that up real quick. Let's
God.
Oh,
make
that's
this let's make this quick.
I'm decided to come up with a new celebration tonight with a hand grenade gesture before the win against the Hornets in the third quarter. Three to put the team up by 25 points, pulling the pin of the grenade with
That's a miracle right there.
All right, so he did the
Right.
gun gesture, and then they fined him 75. Then he did this, Willie. He bit off a grenade, threw it in the crowd, and did it.
Hey, we gotta find us some better role models, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. We gotta find us some better role models.
That's been my thing. That's been my thing. I've been saying that forever.
We gotta move away from the music industry and from sports apparently, because them boys don't know how to act. We gotta find us a guy like a black Steve Irwin. Let's maybe that be on the next podcast. We find the next black Steve Irwin
Oh, I follow
or
this guy on Instagram. He like that.
yeah. Let's put him on there because these boys here, boy, they crashing. crashing and burning, man. That's part of our issue now. I think, man, is that you ask these boys what they look up to, and it ain't really much they looking up to. But that's a whole nother.
Exactly, because they are in search of male role models. I never looked at Juvenile. Look, I always loved Lil Wayne, but I never wanted to be like him. I never wanted the tattoos or none of that. I never wanted to be like Wayne, even though I always just admired him. I already had somebody to admire. You know what I mean? So that's what they need. Like Ja Morant, no, Ja Morant is not somebody that your son needs to be looking up to, nor Anthony Edwards. Like they low class. They rich, but they have very low class.
So you brought up something. You
What
brought up
they
something
do
good right
though.
there. I used to look up to white people, and let me say this. Let me say it like
We
this.
can tell.
Let me say this is what I mean when I say this. This is what I mean. I know you're gonna say something slick, and I ain't gonna foul out. When I was a kid, bro, I was really interested in like Steve Irwin and stuff like that. And I honestly didn't even start listening to music like rap like that until like maybe when I got closer to junior high. But I was just sitting here thinking one day like, why is that? Why was I interested in Steve Irwin and like what's the guy who does Reading Rainbow? And now we have
Damn.
LeVar Burton. And I'm sitting here thinking like, why did that stuff interest me? But now it's like the opposite. Now you got kids who, when I was at that age, we were supposed to be interested in science and space and like birds and sharks, like really learning like the cool stuff that's on Earth. Now it's like the opposite. Like I just came from a career fair, and a lot of these kids act like they didn't even know what science was. I remember a girl telling me that she said that she didn't know nothing about construction or engineering, but she just wanted to raise kids. And I'm just like, not to make the mood sour, but I'm just sitting here like, you 12.
Oh, it's too late, bud.
Like what? Like you didn't want to be an astronaut or nothing like that? Like I know it's kids out there. I'm not like that distant about that. There are
Yeah.
kids who want to do that. But I look around the room and I'm just like, bro, what happened? Like I don't know, man. I hate to be
Willie, I just want to let you know, bro. Most people that you see are gonna be average. Everybody's not gonna want to shoot for the moon because everybody don't have that choice. Some people just gonna be, losers, and then most people gonna be average, and it's gonna be a very small percentage. That's who this podcast is for. This is for those black boys who never was able to sit at the round table and just see how bosses talk. That's what this whole podcast was made for. It's for people who got a million or people who I believe is on their way to a million. That's why everybody can't get on this panel, okay? And that's why I want y'all to see how we talk, how we think, and how we can go back and forth, and everything is not already it's not so predictable. That's what the Foul Out podcast is truly about. For those,
I'm glad for it. But I just want y'all to been there. I just wish y'all could have been there. We sitting there talking about projects, construction, how you can get a job, better yourself, and that girl say, I just want to raise babies.
and that's what she'll do. That's what she gonna do, okay? Because somebody gotta raise them. Somebody gotta be the garbage man. I saw a garbage man getting this bad chick number. Y'all saw that? He went viral. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good for him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm just sitting here like, bro, why even show up?
One
Then,
thing I
like, what?
you wasted all our time now.
one thing I do want to say, I agree with you on Willie, is it is okay to look up to white people or Asian people or people that's not black. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of times, and this is a little off topic, but you see people and they say, yeah, I just never saw anybody that looked like me do this thing. And I'm like, yo, man, you don't have to, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can look at a white guy that did something that you want to do and be inspired by that too. So I just want to throw that out there. And I also want to say, who is
You
this
just don't
podcast
want to
for?
meet him.
It's also for people that, they might not know the way fully yet. And you know what I'm saying? You looking to us to try to figure out the way.
Yeah.
That's also who this podcast is for.
Exactly. And that's why we call it the Foul Out, because we talking so nitty gritty. We're not being PC. That's the whole thing about this. We don't want to be PC because PC is what got black people where they at now. They don't tell you the real nitty gritty. You know, it's kind of like now everybody talking in front of their wife. Whenever men really get down and talking to business, they say, I'm going to take your husband in here. All right, Roxanne? Okay, because real business and real men discuss things
Roxanne.
in a certain way.
Roxanne.
And it's just like this, you know, because a lot of people, especially our people, got women ears. Oh, can't believe you said that. But see, that's why you tell them, all right, go on in the back, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is man talk.
Men gonna
Not
talk
successful.
outside. Y'all go on in the house.
Now, y'all go on in the house.
All
Yeah,
right,
'cause
and then there goes all our
Let's
female
go. Let's go.
audience.
That some of them men got to go
hey,
back.
get y'all ass out of here. Too mean. This how people talk, and then we chopping it down. You don't even want to hear us talk in person.
We can't have another Andrew Tate podcast.
Oh no.
No, we're not going like that because that's
Nah,
not
Something
Tate.
real.
like that.
Andrew Tate, all that is just a guy who is that red pill society is like, hey, look, bro, be mean to girls and girls will like you. That's all that is,
Yeah.
bro. That's
All
all that
red pill
is.
guys, they just mad at girls because they couldn't get them.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
that's all that
guys,
is.
great pod. Anybody
Taking
got
shots.
closing thoughts, man?
Oh yeah. I got you. She not thick. She bending over on the sink. She not funny. She just got a lot of brothers. And 30 is not the new 20. It's the same old thing.
Hey, we got 20
Who was
subscribers.
that?
We got
Oh
20
yeah,
subscribers.
yeah.
Let's celebrate.
Hey,
I
Plus
just saw
size.
we got like 21
Clap it up. Clap
subscribers.
it up.
Keep the
let's go,
subscriber
20.
train going.
Just realized
Like,
I got
share,
2 waters in here.
subscribe. We were at 0 at one point, and now we at 20.
It's
Hey,
like 22 actually, bro. But
Good work, guys.
Good work.
progress.
Well, I'm gonna sign off by saying we got 5 fouls and we about to foul out.
Hey,
Peace.
we need a t-shirt, bro. We need a t-shirt for this.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a t-shirt.
What the hell? Hold on, bro. I can't turn it off. What the-